Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Gav Major and this is the first of our amateur reports. Now I thought rather than let you guys be guinea pigs, I'd do the first one based on one of my gameplays. But these will basically be, you guys can send in your gameplays of good plays or even funny plays or clutch moments and stuff, and then I can commentate and post. Now this is a game in the premium destroyer Cossack, the tier 6 British destroyer. This is a game of domination on Greece, tier 6 and 7 game. On the enemy team there's the Akatsuki, the Fletcher, the Aldria, the Konetsov and the Hipper, Gneisenhower, Lion, Alabama and Iowa. On the friendly team there's the Cossack, Udachi, Shaw's, Hipper, Edinburgh, KG5, Colorado, Bismarck and Alabama. So there's no divisions, it's all solo. The Major spawned in the centre next to Bravo, but rather than charging to Bravo, looks like he's heading over to Charlie. I can only think that maybe it's because Charlie's maybe a bit more... Because Charlie's more open, whereas Bravo's quite closed. And so in Bravo, you haven't quite got that manoeuvrability to make that kind of engagements sometimes. Also, Bravo's quite easy for a cruiser to go in and capture. But firing in some speculation torpedoes, I guess it's to try and get some aerial denial, just to try and maybe make the enemy hold back a little bit. So Bravo started to be captured by the enemy team, so we know the location of one of their destroyers. The friendly team have identified that they probably want to be securing Charlie. You can see cruiser moving over on the bottom right, that's basically the Edinburgh. Alpha started being captured by the friendly Udachi, but at the moment it's just trying to work out whereabouts their destroyers are. The Cossack's quite a nice destroyer killer, but however, the Fletcher being a tier 7 is probably going to outgun the Cossack quite viciously. So Charlie started to be captured, so that's obviously showing that one of their destroyers is there. So we know where their two destroyers almost are, they kind of showed their hand. And we also now know the Fletcher's in Bravo, so it has to be the Akatsuki on the other team. So the Major's pushing in, he's used his engine boost to try and get from the centre of the map over to Charlie as quickly as possible, using that top speed. The Akatsuki's now been spotted, and the Major's requesting help from the nearest cruiser. The reason being is obviously we want that DPM from the cruisers to try and assist, and the Edinburgh's acknowledged that back. Now the Major was briefly spotted there and takes a couple of hits from the enemy battleships, which are off to the north. However, get that engine repaired off, need that engine when you're going to be making this engagement. Got the sonar on early as well, just to predict any prospecting torpedoes from the Akatsuki. And this is quite an interesting play. Now in sonar range, making a turn, getting a smoke screen laid down. I think this is trying like just hide your position, because once you finish this engagement like now, then you can kind of disappear very quickly from the enemy. And the Edinburgh chipped in very well there, really helped out the Major at this moment. So the Gneisenhower was briefly spotted there, got some torpedoes out, and the Major's now just finishing off the capture, getting some shells out on the Gneisenhower. Now you can see he's leading and aiming at about the deck level, maybe a little bit higher, and that's just so you can see that the shells are landing on the superstructure of the Gneisenhower, getting those fires started. And the Gneisenhower's gone and used its damage con already, so if those torpedoes make their mark, he's already going to be in a bit of trouble. So the friendly Edinburgh is just moving into Charlie as well. And there goes the Gneisenhower, absolutely wrecked. So that's Charlie captured. Friendly team have captured Alpha, however it looks like they're in a spot of bother over there. There's only really the Udachi left over there. Enemy Fletcher was last spotted in Bravo. Apart from that, the enemy team seems to be holding back. The Edinburgh has taken a bit of a brave move and moved up here, which is quite interesting. And the Fletcher spotted again, so we know the Fletcher's still in Bravo. So it's going to be interesting, because looking at the map, I don't think the Udachi can hold Alpha on his own, so that could expect that to probably fall. And the scores are quite close. At the moment the enemy team is actually winning because they've sunk ships of a higher value. So the Major's moving in towards Bravo, and the enemy Hipper's been spotted off to the north. Not a lot of health, but that Hipper looks to be turning in. The Hipper has got very good sonar, so that could give the Cossack quite a bit of bother. So the Major's got some torpedoes out, almost just a bit of aerial denial, a nice little spread here and there. So the enemy's now pushing into Alpha and the Udachi's having to pull out. So the Hipper's continuing his course, and the Fletcher still seems to be holding out in Alpha. And there goes the Hipper. So the Major can now feel a lot more relaxed, knowing that a heavy cruiser with decent sonar is not going to be giving him any bother. In the Bravo objective, there's the quite interesting. The Major's in two positions here. He can either open fire and give away his position, or he can just hold off outside his own detectability and keep the Fletcher detected, and basically ask his team very nicely, please kill that. So that's quite an interesting play. It's obviously not focused solely on your own DPM, but actually what's good for the team. And it's probably going to be better for the team that the Major stays alive here and continues to capture, but also uses his superior detectability to enable the team to focus down on the Fletcher, therefore forcing the Fletcher out of the centre objective. So, looking at the scores, they're starting to swing to the favour of the Major's team, and if they get this centre objective, which they will probably need, it should be alright. Looks like the enemy team's focusing quite heavily coming down into Alpha. So the Fletcher laid smoke screen. So the Fletcher smoke screen is actually between the Major and the Fletcher. So the Major can actually open fire here without being detected, which is quite interesting. It's how the almost like the Fletcher smoke screen is now acting against him. And there goes the Fletcher, killed by the friendly Udachi. And Bravo now captured. So the Major's now got his second capture of the game, and he's been able to almost secure a reasonable victory. However, looking at the ship count, 3 versus 5, it should be in the Major's team's favour. However, the Udachi now goes. So it's close, however, the Major being the only destroyer now left in the game, you can kind of take that relaxed footing that he's not going to run into something at point blank range and have to deal with it. So the Major's team are moving almost north and south of Bravo, which is quite an interesting position, almost like a pincer move. The enemy seems to be pushing into Alpha in some form of almost trying to secure it. Now all they've got left is the Algeria, the Kuznetsov and the Iowa. So the Edinburgh's gone up north. And it looks like the Kuznetsov is coming out from the islands there. So it's worthwhile getting some torpedoes out, because you never know. But this is almost just getting into position, getting some spotting done, making sure that the noose is slowly being tightened around the remaining of their ships. So their Algeria and the Kuznetsov aren't looking too good health-wise. The Iowa's got 3/4 health. Now this is quite an interesting move to lay a smoke screen here, but then you can see that when he does fire, he is detected, so there is something still drawing line of sight, so maybe it was worthwhile doing the smoke screen. Now picking on the Algeria, obviously just try and focus fire on the weakest ship on the team, just trying to help the team get rid of them. Because you always got to remember it's a team game and it's about focusing ships out. If people can help, then it's always a good thing. So this is where the smoke screen is now counting against the Major in his current position, and the Edinburgh probably has set smoke screen up to the north there and is asking basically for the Cossack, can you move out, can you get some spotting done? So the Major's now started to move out his smoke screen, but the remaining of their ships, Kuznetsov doesn't look like he's going to be long for the world. There we go. So that just leaves their Iowa, their sole battleship, defending Alpha, as it looks like the Major's team split off into 2 divisions. You got a cruiser and a battleship to the north, and then the major and the destroyer, and another cruiser to the south, and the noose is now slowly tightening. Now this is going to be quite interesting how to deal with the Iowa. However, the Iowa is now fighting almost versus 2 cruisers and a battleship on its own, so the amount of DPM coming in, the Iowa's going to get chewed up quite quickly if it gets focused, which it would appear that is happening. Now the major is now obviously made his presence known to the Iowa. It's quite obvious when you get contested in objective that someone's nearby. But at the moment he doesn't have a smoke screen available, and the Iowa's moving away, so it's not torpedoable. And so here it just looks like the major's trying to fish some shots through the gap in the island, aiming for that superstructure, trying to maybe get a fire or something. So the Iowa's slowly getting chewed apart by the Edinburgh. Unfortunately, it looks like the islands are blocking the majority of the shots, and it's only really the rear turret that's been able to sneak through. Now the game's definitely going to be won now. There's nothing much this Iowa can do, and the major's kind of being a bit cheeky here and just almost showing his hand. Look what I could do. Nah, 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 nah. And there goes the Iowa. Well, overall that looked like it was quite a good game for the major. Some very interesting plays. Choice of moving on to what objective, choosing when to and not to engage the enemy destroyers as well, and always ensuring that support was called for. Came second on the team, second best destroyer as well. So if you like this kind of content, give it a thumbs up. If you've got any playthroughs of your own, feel free to send them in. Our email address is in the About tab, but it is battleship.disputes@gmail.com. We'll try and treat them so same as this. Any funny moments, any clutches, any good games, send them in. All the funny moments I can always combine together to make a kind of like meme video. You never know. Well, if you're not already, feel free to subscribe. I'm the Galloping Major, and back to the port.